I watched it with the commentary track because I was like, how much did they research this? And it turned out they researched it quite a lot.
And still managed to fuck up a great deal.
Well, that's debatable. What I admire was, instead of going down the path and making something kind of like Quest for Fire, sort of dry. No, man, he went every opportunity he chose to go sort of grindhouse.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But having said that, this movie is ridiculously entertaining to me, and I think I stick by it's a car chase movie without cars.
Oh yeah. Well,
and it's fucking exciting and suspenseful, and the acting, I like everything. I like this more and more every time I see it.
Yeah, well, part of it is, it's set in, the Yucatan Peninsula in the 1500s, and you can concentrate on the culture of this thing, but you have to boil that away. It's just it's a very exciting story. It's very good. A guy in a village gets kidnapped by these.
It's not
assholes.
An art film, and by description, it sounds esoteric. Like if someone told you, "Oh, it's all shot in the authentic language of the time," and with subtitles, you think, okay, it's some kind of an art piece, and it's not. Like you said, it's grindhouse. It starts with dick jokes,
because Mel Gibson directed it.
Yeah, it's like it starts with dick jokes and it ends like Die Hard with trees.
Yeah, but it's funny how humorous those villagers are in the gang. Is just like everything's kind of a joke. Everything.
Well, it ends with the actual apocalypse.
Yeah, the real bad guys just showed up.
The Apocalypto means a couple of different things, and that's one of them. Yeah.
But
also, I've been reading about this. I did realize that the one thing, and this is kind of two-edged, that a lot of the stuff they showed with this human sacrifice was mostly happening in Teotihuacan.
That's Aztec.
As Aztec, the Mayans were doing it, but not as much.
And they beheaded people.
So they transported that culture over to the Yucatan Peninsula.
So it's a little bit of a mashup.
However, the people in the Yucatan complained about it. It's like, this is not us. I don't know if they were trying to say that wasn't authentic or we weren't that bloody. I'm not sure exactly.
Actually, according to the commentary track, they toned some of this shit down.
They did. Oh yeah, they did.
I'll tell you,
toned down from where? I mean, it's heads rolling downstairs for 10 to 15 minutes.
So taking the people to the top of the pyramid and disemboweling them in front of an audience, depending on whether or not you were like a captured head of another rival community, they apparently figured out a way to keep people alive for a really long time while they did that shit over and over and over again over an extended period of time. Like that. But the flip side of that is apparently there were actual arenas where they seem to be under the impression that there might have been something like target practice happening. The difference was that the victims were tied up, and Mel decided, no, let's let them run around and make it more exciting looking.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there wasn't an audience for that scene. It wasn't like
that was that was an old ball court, which is interesting.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, the thing that I really
Hi, Jared.
The thing I liked about this movie at the time it came out is it wasn't that long after Gloom Girl and I know it's Mayan, Aztec, Inca, but we were down in Peru, and when you're down there at the ruins and the guide is describing how many people it took to get these giant boulders from this side of the valley to that side of the valley, and in your head you can kind of imagine like the scale of the whole thing, and I do sort of like that they tried to show us that. And
and without actually explaining it.
And the set decoration is great. They actually mentioned the commentary track how the guy did such a good job that Mel felt like he could put the camera in any direction and you would go all the way to the horizon.
He would have his shot.
And he would have his shot.
Well, and that's pretty amazing. And this is totally pre-CGI, so they had to build all this shit.
Also, the ability to get into like the villagers.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
To get into the villagers' eyes when you're walking into the big city, it's like they're not going to explain to them. They don't know what's going on, and we don't know either.
I was just going to make that point, Scott, that this is a very good creative decision on Gibson's part in the story, that we start small. We start in the forest, and you think maybe this is the scale. It's going to be a little village, and we're out in the woods, and la, 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 la. And once they get taken captive, the whole movie changes, and their world just starts getting bigger and bigger, and we're going with them. We're on that ride.
And more crowded.
And then when they walk them out, and you first see the pyramids and the crowds and what's going on, it's like, whoa! It's really
it's a reverse Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, it's all a matter of scale. Too. These guys live in a band of like 30 or 40 people, and all of a sudden around thousands of people in the city.
They have never experienced that before.
Yeah, exactly.
And wisely, that's the first time we see that kind of a crowd scene is when they're seeing it for the first time.
Now,
too.
Look of Terror was they did a good job acting this film because
It's so good, man. I had never
terrified.
seen this before.
You hadn't? Oh, John, I'm so glad you saw it, man.
Sheila and I enjoyed it immensely. I mean,
Oh,
it's
great.
brutal.
It is.
Brutal.
But man, what a good story! What a well-made film.
It hits hard, doesn't it?
I saw this in the theater when it came out.
Same here.
And I only saw it the one time, but I remember loving it and thinking, "Wow, that was really kind of special."
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for making me watch it again because it's even better than I remember.
Well, that's the thing. It seems it's mellowed.
It's just this is such an accomplishment as a filmmaker. I mean, for anyone, and let alone Mel Gibson. Like you guys said, from the sets to the costumes, and I think all the performances are spectacular. That little girl who gives the prophecy was not even an actor. They just,
she lived in a mud hut.
Yeah.
A mud hut, basically.
I was wondering how a little girl like that learns all that dialogue in a dead language.
She was a native. She spoke Yucatan Mayan. And
that's not a dead language she's speaking.
No. They still a lot of Indians still speak it. So they just so it's not dead language. It's just kind of a smaller.
But I thought they were using the dead language dialect. They went back and
maybe they did.
I'm sure it was modified at least.
Also, you can see the way they cut together. She was doing paragraphs.
My assumption is that they have a cue card. They're just because she's staring straight down the camera the entire time. So they probably are just holding a cue card next to the camera. Read this.
Yeah.
And this
we actually at one point later in the film rolled back and re-listened to her prophecy because we could see everything she said playing out. And so after he fell into the mud and came out of the mud solid.
She was right.
Well, so she has smallpox, which is very interesting because the Spanish are just arriving at the end of the movie. Where did she get smallpox from?
How do we know that's smallpox?
Well, they called it something. They called it something. I'm not sure it was, but it was. She was sick, and a lot of people were dropping dead at this point, which probably caused the civilization we're seeing is kind of in mid collapse because of all the food.
I think you guys were commenting on how it kind of becomes. Yeah, it's definitely like suddenly he becomes, Predator in the forest, like trying to kill Predator.
What the end of
it's funny. This movie manages to be totally un-Hollywood, but work a little bit of Hollywood in there for you.
Totally.
I'm gonna throw this. This came to me a couple days ago. The end of this film, when he escapes from the ball court and runs off in the forest, it's Die Hard.
It is Die Hard.
It's just Die Hard. It's just he's trying to outwit these bad guys with his ingenuity. But
it was so cool.
And what's beautiful is like if he can get back to the jungle, then he's on his home turf, and that's where he really gets the advantage.
I'm Jaguar's Paw. This is my jungle.
And he has that moment when he comes out of the mud where he's like, I can't be afraid, right? Like no fear. I can't give into the fear. I have to. But I thought bringing back the boar hunting trap was really awesome because
nice callback.
We had all forgotten about that, so to speak.
Chekhov's boar trap.
And,
this fucking guy.
Oh,
this
dude,
guy right here.
That guy was in charge.
Actually, I was more taken with the guy behind Scott. I think the guy that named him Almost. The guy that named him Almost.
That dude, you know what he was? He was just a bully.
Yeah, he was scary.
He was just a guy who focused on Jaguar Paw and fucking hassled him the whole movie.
But there were cutaways to that dude's face when they were pillaging, and he was just in sheer bliss.
I know.
He was enjoying it so much.
Jaguar Paw had that knife turned around on him and was gonna kill him.
Yeah,
very good.
So when he gets pulled off by the chief, then he's been emasculated at that point.
It scared him.
Yeah.
And so he's going to turn his ire onto him for the rest of the movie.
He's going to focus on him the rest of the time. And that's what he did.
How about
apparently the Almost story? It's from Mel Gibson's childhood.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he was
someone called him almost a bully at school, and he never forgot it.
Exactly, he never forgot it. Exactly.
Wow.
And working in a movie.
That's great.
And how about when the stakes you don't think it can get any higher? Mm-hmm. She has a baby underwater in the hole.
It's nuts.
I really wish they had cut all of that. I wish they'd cut everything about them in the hole.
Why?
Every time they went back to the fucking hole.
You know what I loved though? How they were using bugs' heads as stitches.
Oh,
that was pretty amazing.
Fucking awesome.
That was pretty amazing.
What do you think? It just slowed the film down, or what?
Yeah, I I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy this as much as I did the first time I watched it. And I think some of it was pacing. I just feel like the pacing in this movie is really sort of weird.
It's a lot.
And cutting back and constantly cutting back to the them in the hole. I was just like, yeah, they're in the fucking hole. I know. Like, oh, they almost climbed up on a thing, but it didn't work. Like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm more interested in what's going on.
You know what that was?
That's captured.
This film is just classic Hollywood. There's something, and that's a classic Hollywood. Here's your ticking clock.
You have to have a B story to cut to, so you can
exactly. It's
so you can jump back into your main story.
The story is far more ordinary than it looks.
Well,
Tad's right. It's very conventional storytelling. It's just the setting and the language make it exotic as hell.
You didn't necessarily need that, but however, I think that in order for Jaguar Paw to have even more of sort of a personal drive to get back and to survive, it helps a lot.
Remind the audience what he's got to get back to.
He looks up and says, "Don't rain." Remember that?
That's the thing, kind of pulling him back to the village, right? Because in any other situation, he would go wherever he needed to go to get away from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. How about the waterfall scene, man?
That was nuts.
I did call it as soon as he got into the river. I go, waterfall.
Also, this really proves that the chief guy is stupid as fuck. Like, like he kills one of his men. He kills one of his men for saying we probably shouldn't jump off this. He then forces everyone to jump off it, and the second guy who jumps fucking cracks his head and dies.
Yeah, I know.
The first guy was right.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, but I love the.
So it is literally 10 Little Indians or whatever they had started with there.
I love some of Gibson's filmmaking though, because in that scene it was great because when the guy says, you know, we should probably walk down and go around, and you just kind of feel like he went like, shut up.
Yep.
Yeah,
like he just, but then he reveals, oh no, there's a knife in this dude.
Also the knife, that special
opportunity when Mel could go this way or that way, Mel chooses Grindhouse.
Yes, he does. He goes
it's also every time. It also like that scene stood out for me when you think, oh, he just gave him a little check, like shut up, but instead it was a
you're off the team.
You're dead. Yes,
you're off the team.
So I got a question. How did this do at the box office?
Very well.
Yeah,
very
really well.
Good.
Yeah, it tripled its budget. So
because I mean the fact that Mel Gibson was the man, I guess, at the time, and he could get this thing made. I mean, what a pitch! No English spoken in the whole film. Subtitles. Right. We're going to set it 15th century in the Yucatan Peninsula.
All native actors or people of color.
And he got it made, and it was obviously not a low budget film.
Mm-hmm. There's one random white lady in one of the crowd shots.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there was one film I saw
coming off of Passion of the Christ, which made like $600 million or something.
Oh, so much.
Because Catholics like go see this, and they're ordering people to see it.
He's like, I want to do this, and they're like, okay. They wrote the check.
Exactly.
But, I mean, yes, he's a fucking asshole. I mean, like that's inarguable.
He's a terrible person.
But he's an amazing artist.
This movie kind of kicks ass, and against my better judgment, I enjoyed the hell out of Hacksaw Ridge, which is even, if you guys can imagine,
I have to see this one.
What is this?
It's gorier than this film.
Easily.
The part in Hacksaw Ridge where he picks up the half body and starts running and shooting with the half body.
Okay, well there you go. Don't give it away.
The thing about Hacksaw Ridge, it's crazy. Is you're watching this going, this is fucking crazy stupid, and then you read about it, you realize, oh no, the real thing was even more nuts.
Well, that's what I think you were saying about.
Actually, did was even crazier than what they show in the movie.
Well, and that's what you're saying about this, Chris, which I totally can believe, that the shit back then was way worse than what we saw in this movie. And yeah, I mean, Mel Gibson, I separate art from artist personally, so fuck him, I guess, as a person, but I think he's an amazing artist. I also think he's an amazing actor. I like most things that he does, but I don't agree with the racism and all the
well,
there's allegedly there was a day where the Aztecs sacrificed 100,000 people in one day.
Oh no, they did. They were taking a prison. They took over. This was about 100 years before all this happened, and this happened in Mexico City. They had taken over a territory south of Mexico City, and they brought them in. They were sacrificing, I think, 5,000 or 10,000 people an hour. They had teams of priests cutting people's heads off. That's like I read about it. It was like, well, that's Aztec thing is very bloodthirsty. Question about the end. You know, the unbelievable.
Well, before you go there, Scott, because I wanted to real quick hold that thought, because just like the reveal of him killing the dude at the top of the waterfall, I really like Gibson's choice of focusing on Jaguar Paw and the other two pursuers' faces instead of before he shows, and then he does a wraparound.
There's a 360,
And I thought, again, here's Gibson making really, really nice directorial choices to show us, you know, then we see the ships, you know, the Armada or whatever. And it's
it's a literal reversal. Think about it. It's like, you know, it's like everything has changed now. Yeah.
Well, and he really hammers home even later with sort of that epilogue of sorts. He hammers home that those people didn't even know what those were because they've never seen them before.
What are they? I don't know, but a bunch of guys came out of them.
Yeah, exactly. What are they? Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but they carried men. Yeah.
So what do you think he meant by this? Do you think that he was, you know, in the kind of, if you want Mel Gibson as
looking for meaning?
You know,
well, if you
what do you think the message is trying to say by having the conquistadores show up then?
Well, first of all, I don't think it was shown. First of all, if you look at it in one way, it's just history.
No, but if what Tad just said, it's the real apocalypse just showed up.
Right. Okay. If you're more cynical of like, I don't know, or if you're sort of think you're righteous or something, you might think, oh yeah, like these people didn't need these other people coming in and taking over whatever, making it worse in different ways. But you could also look at it as just like, well, that's just what happened though.
So yeah, I can't judge. It's been 500 years. I can't judge
in history. In history, like this actual time in Mayan history is fascinating because the Southern Mayan Empire has completely collapsed at this point. Completely. The Northern Mayan Empire, which this is part of, is in the middle of class warfare. There's a peasant revolt that's happening, and the peasant revolt is severely weakening the Mayans, and that's why when the Spanish show up, they just fucking steamroll. Like there's no organized resistance to the Spanish, and then
they found a lot of allies easily when they got
there is in fact a title at the beginning of the movie about that. You know, every civilization has to rot from within before it can be conquered.
From without. And there's also that saying of, or people are like, you know, hey, they showed up and they brought guns and syphilis, so you have no chance.
Smallpox.
If the Mayans had big ships and steel and guns and the Europeans didn't, this all be reversed, you know. But I don't go back and forth. It's like this is the end of their civilization. They're going to end everything about what we just seen. But I don't know if Mel Gibson's saying that's a good thing or bad thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
or it just is
judgment from it.
Yeah, I don't have, but definitely I think that if you have a civilization that's killing or that's committing mass genocide on a regular basis, I mean, that's not cool.
No, it's not cool. No, it's a good way of putting it. It's very not cool at all.
Not cool, man.
Then again, Europeans are pretty guilty of that too.
Well, they came in, they enslaved everybody, right around smallpox, a bunch of people.
Certain Europeans.
But this kind of reminds me of these gross arguments when people bring up slavery in the United States. It's like, well, Africans murdered each other too in Africa. It's like,
well, that's the thing. Well, mind you, there's one weird thing they got wrong with this is that when Jaguar Paw was running and he goes into that big charnel pit full of headless bodies.
God.
It was like, first of all, that was but second of all, that didn't happen. When they would sacrifice people, at least, you know, when they weren't doing the mass sacrifices like during all the prisoners, they'd eat them. You know, that's the thing. There was not enough protein in my
let that all go to waste.
They go to waste, yeah. So that's a lot of that happening is because they want to spread some meat around, and that was not taboo before the Europeans showed up.
Well, you can go back to what John said. I mean, most civilizations over the course of human history have had slaves and do have slaves, or had their own form of slaves, often enslaving their own people, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know.
We just call it the prison system now.
Yeah, kind of like. Anyway,
kind of true. I mean, there's something there.
So I guess we can go to the cards at this point. Whether there's anything else.
The other thing got through. There's a couple of times where Gibson chose. I'm thinking of the shot where Jaguar Paw's buddy stabs that guy's kid in the neck with the. Where instead
that was great.
Instead of going close, he goes wide.
Right.
He does that more than once.
Yeah. The telephoto of him stumbling and falling down.
You mean
that was a dad's point of view.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
good
just-
stuff.
Again,
So good.
he's an asshole, but he knows how to direct, man.
He knows how to tell a story. Like I mean, I don't know how many
I like
people love.
Braveheart.
I still love Braveheart. I love fucking.
I like
Braveheart.
Braveheart.
Braveheart's a great
Braveheart
movie.
fucking
I like,
works, man. It's a good movie.
I don't
Also,
really
I don't
like
wanna
Braveheart,
state-
but
I don't wanna
I
state-
do like Passion of the Christ
Yeah.
a fair amount. I
I
think
don't want to
Passion
state the
of
obvious,
Christ
but you know,
is very good at what it's doing.
It is.
Yeah.
The eclipse in this film, you know, it wasn't a coincidence that it all ended with the eclipse because the Mayans and the Incas were very good astronomers. And
Yeah,
so
they
the ruling class knew
That
there
was
was going to be an eclipse that day.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And that kept the peasants in fear. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Kukul Khan is satisfied now, and that's good. We don't have to sacrifice anybody anymore. And everyone's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah,
you guys are so
all on
powerful.
purpose.
So,
These-
so
these-
two
these-
scientific
these two fucking
inaccuracies.
guys.
Yeah, exactly.
One of them is that eclipses take about 40 minutes at least.
That
I
was,
was
it
gonna
didn't-
say,
it didn't
John,
go
They
that
don't
fast.
move that fast.
You
I
were
think
at
there was
the
a
last-
couple
you were at
full
the
moon
last-
shots, which is not how it works at all, too. It's like,
I've
But-
seen a
but-
couple. Also, stalactites are made of stone, and she was tossing that one around in the cave like it was a baseball bat.
well,
Yeah.
maybe they're tough folks. Who knows, man?
Well,
You could have a pretty.
again,
you could have a limestone one that's
Mhm.
pretty light. Like they
Yeah.
could be quite porous.
but the set design and the
Yeah.
costuming, like when they were
Oh,
bringing
yeah.
them in, not only were we scared.
I'll give you
because-
that, but but excuse me, Jared. I'll give you the limestone, but the
eclipse
the
is
eclipse is
no,
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
eclipse, but it's also for cinematic
We
purposes.
assume
it's a
Of
movie.
You can't watch a 40-minute eclipse.
although, mind you, John,
This isn't Baraka.
Everybody
That's
here-
the, yeah, that's the
also-
director's cut.
also, everybody here has seen Eclipse live.
I've
Not to
No.
partial.
Well,
only ever a
the thing is,
partial.
when it finally goes total, it's pretty sudden. You know, it's cold.
Oh yeah.
It's cold and weird, and all of a sudden, blink. Your light, the light
It's-
lights out.
Oh, things look weird. Things are looking weirder, and then at the end, it's like somebody takes a dimmer switch and goes, "Meow," and you're
Yeah,
like, "Whoa!"
I know. It's really.
And even if you know exactly what's happening, as a modern person with an understanding of science, it's still kind of scary.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
there's
I
a
heard
reason.
people
There's a
screaming.
reason the Chinese would shoot rockets at the moon.
I felt like
when
doing
the moon
that
would
during the
disappear
eclipse.
because there was a fucking dragon eating it.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
No, it makes sense.
It
Well,
does.
when
It makes total
things
sense.
are that much out of your control, you freak out.
Yeah, we like
You
sun.
go-
Sun go away, things bad. You know,
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah.
All right, now I'm going to the cards
Space
now.
is
Okay.
huge and scary and dope. Like
Yeah.
it's
There you
like everything about space is fucking frightening and massive.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Speaking of frightening, I wanted to comment one more time on
Go ahead.
the costume design when they get to the city and to the pyramids. I mean, some of the painted men who were, yellow and red,
Yeah.
and with their headdresses, and even the higher ups. I mean, a lot of those characters looked absolutely terrifying.
Oh, the
And
color
you could
coding's
see-
amazing, isn't it? There's the blue sacrifices. There's the green ruling class. There's a red and a yellow.
The yellow guy that was
the
kind of
demons.
down in the he was
Yeah.
kind of getting them up to the. I was
Yeah.
totally scared of that dude.
Oh, yeah,
It was just
exactly,
like-
exactly.
yeah.
That's good stuff. All right, I'm definitely going to do thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm trying to. All right, here we go.
Oh, it's a big thumbs up.
All right, he's in the middle somewhere. Okay, fantastic.
I love this movie.
It's
Fill
a
your
great-
drink.
I think it's a great film.
We're on a schedule today, so
I'm so glad I'm so glad it was a pick. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, Chris goaded me into it. I love it when people do that.
I might have mentioned it before.
A couple thousand times, but yes, it all worked out. There you go.
But it's one of those movies that I don't know if I would have watched it again on my own volition. So I'm glad.
Well,
that
that's
it's picked
I
because-
I
My
specialize in
sister
those.
and my sister watches this like every 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.